time, what a time. What a time for a black man to be alive. Living in the struggle while trying to keep our composure. Killing each other while trying to look for that exposure. We all just wanna make it, we should do it as a team. Build each other up and they can't even say a thing. Me and all my brothers just stuck together like glue. It's us against the world and you know what we finna do. Woo! Pop a bottle, we in here for celebration. We just wanna be the leaders that's pushing the generation. Take a seat and find your zone for the topic of conversation. Find a way for a positive revelation. Now this really ain't the time to be thinking about yourself, cause we just a bunch of hustlers that's trying to give out some help. We turn the cubs into lions inside of the den. Come and join the brotherhood if you really just wanna win. Hey.
This your boy Daniel Lyons Evans, and you are live inside the den. And the next episode starts right now. As always, this is a live, unrehearsed, unscripted show. And I'm just here on my holiday retreat here in Gulfport, Mississippi. And the guest that's going to be on the show today is one of my prized possessions, one of my favorite nephews here, Tyshawn. We're going to be talking about a couple different things, but he told me that he wanted to be on the show because he was only one of the nephews that didn't get a chance. Last season you seen Stephen Biggs Jr. on here, and then you also seen the episode when I had Josiah and Tim on here as well. So, with all that being said, this is this is that nephew that, like you say, you know, one of your favorites, or one of the ones that they always seem to make you proud. But we was talking earlier about some of the things that he's doing right now in his young up and coming career. He talked to me about becoming a rapper. So talk to me a little bit about what is your experience in the rap industry, and what do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years in this rap thing?
Next 5 to 10 years, I like to be famous.
Famous in what way?
Like, concerts and stuff like that. Like, I want to be known across the whole world.
You want to be known across the world in just 5 years, so you plan on making it through the social media aspect of it, or you plan on doing some self-publishing? You gonna be signing your own label, or what direction you see yourself headed with that?
I mean, I like to start off on somebody else's label and then branch off to my own.
Okay.
Because I ain't trying to sell my soul or nothing like that.
So what's your overall message on your music? Like, what's the take on your music?
Really, I like to talk about like real stuff that goes on, like that people really don't talk about. Like, all you hear now is like money and girls and cars and all that. I want to talk about like emotions, like
Emotional
stuff that people go through that they don't really talk about. I want to be one of those rappers that talk about it, so the people that do go through it can listen to it and relate to it.
So it would appear that every topic that can be talked about in a song has literally already been spoken about. What are you looking to bring to the game, or what do you look to bring to the industry that has not been repeated, but is still relevant into what we're doing right now, and with everything that's going on right now?
Really, I say the difference between mine and theirs is like mine would be more like real, like raw.
So when you 18, 17 years old?
17.
At 17 years old, the life you live right now, what's so unique and what's so interesting about the last 17 and a half years?
I mean, I would say I've been through a lot, struggled with some things. That's like one problem. Like, that's one thing I talk about. Like, I see that as a problem now, how like somebody my age can tell their parents, oh, I think I'm suffering from depression or something like that, and they'll be like, oh, you too young, you ain't got that. Or if you say you got anxiety, they'll say you too young. But I don't see how they have the age limit to mental illness.
I mean, that's a pretty good statement that you said that. But so what's the overall driving force What's the energy behind some of your music?
Really just stuff that I go through and keep to myself. Cause I'm one of those people who I don't really talk about my feelings to people, like not even family. So I just put it in my music. So when you do that, there's no face behind it, and like that, they just listen to it.
So let's talk about that depression thing. You said before that people think that you would be too young to go through a certain thing mentally, with mental illness. So how long have you been suffering for depression is one, and two, is this the only outlet you have to get those situations resolved?
I would say it started probably like, honestly, it probably started like when I was like a little kid, like when my parents split up, but I didn't really realize it till I was old enough, probably like 8th grade.
And how did that make you feel, your parents breaking up?
I would say it really made an impact on my life because, you know, when parents break up, you know, the kid basically plays like tug of war between the two parents. Like you gotta go with your dad over there, go with your mom over here. So, you know, you kind of really live, like, especially me, it's like I live two different lifestyles. Over there I live, we just gotta make it. And then over here, my dad's like a entrepreneur and stuff, so it wasn't really about making it, it was just, he was already like successful. So it was like I was successful here, not successful there. So I had to alternate.
And so being depressed, you know, what other doors did that open you up to being depressed?
Really? Drugs.
What kind of drugs? Like some hard stuff or just like some kiddie stuff or what type of
I mean, I've tried multiple, really. Started off with weed. You know, eventually, like how most, excuse me for saying, but crackheads, how they start with something, and it's like not strong enough, so you work your way up to something bigger. So I started with weed, and that wasn't working, so I went to Percocets. That wasn't working. I tried Molly, I tried Xanax, and I tried codeine.
But these are all pills, right?
No, yeah, codeine is lean.
Oh, the cocktail juice.
Yeah. You mix that with Sprite.
So was that like the hardest stuff you ever done before? So when you were depressed, not being able to really express, you know, what you was going through to your parents because it could cause, you know, some problems that you probably wasn't ready to deal with. And being sliding into this dark hole, would you consider that place to be a dark place when you was, you know, exploring the depression with the drugs and all that kind of stuff? What are some of the things that you was exposed to when you was doing the drugs and things like that some kids might not, you know or be brave enough to speak their truth? What are some of the things you had to experience like that?
I had to really experience living a lot of my life, like scared, paranoid, trying to like pretend really like I would be feeling some type of way and all that stuff would be going through my head and I'd be like, oh, I hate my life, stuff like that. And then I do this drug and I just be oh, I'm back to normal again. So then when I go home, I'd be cool, drug stuff with my mom and them. But before I did the drug, I was just crazy. So
you ever experimented with alcohol?
Nah, I tried alcohol one time, but I ain't like the taste of it, so I don't.
So what would be your message to somebody else that's struggling with depression and they actually considering a drug? What would be your message to them?
My message to them would be is to not do it really. That there's other ways, and that if you keep your faith in God, He'll open the door for you. He did it for me. I'm drug free.
How long you been drug free?
I've been drug free for about 8 months since I moved here.
So you've been here for 8 months already?
Yeah, something like that. Somewhere around.
Wow. So what would you rate your life now versus 9 months ago?
I would say now is better. I mean, sometimes I miss my old life, but then you gotta differentiate what's better and what's more comfortable. There I was comfortable, but here I'm grown. You know, they always say grow first. But I would say I'm growing because I don't do drugs no more, and I got a new job. It's good money, better money. I'm here with my dad, you know, he's teaching me different stuff.
So to me, when I hear you make those kind of admissions, when you say you did this, you did that, you know, in order to get to the next level as being mature, the first thing you have to do is accept responsibility for what you've done and your actions, and being able to admit when you're wrong and admit that you made the mistake. That's the first sign of maturity. Saying that, yeah, I did this, because a lot of kids your age wouldn't really want to admit that they had struggles with depression and things like that, and even having to be in a position where you was on drugs. And I'm just assuming that you probably done some things to get those drugs that you wasn't proud of, that was not the normal, the way you normally do things. And just having that moment of clarity, I don't know what it was that got you on the path to getting here, what made you want to come here, or what was the straw that broke the camel's back, and you know, why did you feel like you had to run a game or whatever to be here versus just asking, can I come and stay here? Like, no, he's not. What was the final determination that decided that I'm going to go through with this plan and I want to end up here and this is where I want to, you know, become a man? Like, what was that like?
To be honest, it really wasn't even on purpose. I really just like caught up. One night I just prayed. I was like, pray to the Lord to just help me, and that I want to fix all of it, you know, and move on. Cause you know that stuff get tiring. And then just like, not even a couple of days later, like somehow I just got caught with one thing. I got caught with one thing. Literally, I just got caught with a vape. And then I used the opportunity to go ahead and tell my parents really everything. I just said, well, it's my chance.
So you just, I mean, was this all just a cry for help, or like what was the reason for all of it?
Mainly a cry for help, and just to leave all that there in the past.
Wow. So, and I never knew that you was, you know, on this type of road. I've always seen you as, you know, when I see nephew, you know what I mean, like nothing. Never would imagine that, you know, you have this story to tell and able to express this in your music and basically get all these emotions out of your music. What's your favorite song that you've been able to produce so far?
I had one called what's it called? It was called Pills in the Regal. It was called Pills in the Regal.
What is it about?
Really, it's just about like kind of how I act and how I use drugs like to control how I act or how I act.
So what was your quote unquote drug of choice?
Really, my go-to is Percocets and codeine. And I kind of used to take it kind of far. I used to mix Percocets and weed together. Like I would crush it up to like almost cocaine and put it in the blunt and like smoke both of them.
Wow.
Really, it got so bad to the point where Like, I used to have a job at Whataburger. I make like $300, and really that whole check go to Percocets. You know, it's $10 for one pill. So I spent $300 just on Percocets. Couldn't even put gas in my car. But I was taking like 4 or 5 a day.
So you was buying them for your own personal consumption, or was you trying to sell them?
No, that was my own personal. Now, I used to also buy, I had like a plug where I would buy stuff like vapes and stuff and sell that. I would sell those and use that money also for Percocets.
Wow.
So I ain't never did nothing like steal from my parents, nothing like that. I don't steal nothing like that. I just went to work and sold other stuff.
Wow. Wow. Didn't know all that, man.
But really, Percocets was like breakfast. Before I went to school, take 3. After school, before I go home, take 3. That was just like my warm up. Like, all right, I'm gonna be in front of people. Let me take these and I'll be all right. That's how I thought then.
So what has been the biggest change from you to the last 9 months?
Biggest change. Really, the biggest is getting back in church, really.
So you didn't have a church back in Texas?
I mean, of course, there was churches, but my parents didn't go to church, so I didn't really go. I mean, one day I had went, we had one like literally right across the road. So I walked to it one day, and it was cool. I was feeling it. And then you know how like sometimes Satan can get in you and make you not want to go or come up with something where you can't go. So I went like one time, and after that, I just literally didn't go. That, and another difference is like the respect I have for my dad. Like, I just wouldn't even bring that to the property of his house. I'm scared of my dad, to be honest.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I really had got off of Percocets before I moved here. I had some friends and stuff that really got me off of those.
How'd they get you on?
Like, you know how most friends, they be like, oh, your friends not really your friends. They encourage you to do that, peer pressure, all that other stuff. I had like these friends, you know, I was in a band. So I had like these friends in band, they literally get mad at me, like every time they knew I did it, or I told them I did it, or they saw me do it. And then they kept saying, I can keep doing this, we can't be cool with you. So then I did it one time and they just literally started being cool with me, like I was just lonely, like I ain't had no friends. And then so that really hit me, and I was like, damn, I gotta stop this. So I kind of slowed down, I went from like taking 3 to 1. And then I had a girlfriend, and she broke up with me because I was taking them. She kept telling me not to. And then when she did that, it kind of broke my heart. So then after that, I was done.
So it took a woman to get you off.
Literally a woman, man.
And you've been sober for 9 months. 8 months.
Yep.
So how does that feel to you?
Really great. I really feel like a whole nother person. Like, I've been losing weight, gaining muscle, you know. I feel healthier. I feel like my brain can absorb more knowledge. I feel like I'm getting a little smarter, stuff like that.
Well, you never know a person's story until you actually have the time to sit down and talk to them. No, I never had, the kind of opportunity to sit down with my nephew and talk to him about some things. And, just to reiterate that, this is, live inside the den. So, this is a platform that I created for opportunities like me and like you can come in and kind of tell some of your story or whatever. And it's more of an encouraging thing because this is going to go out, across the United States, and there's somebody that's going to actually see this and want to be encouraged by how you was able to turn your life around from being, a lost, wayward kid in Texas, not knowing, which way to go, having to, use drugs to regulate your mood, whether you're up or down, you know what I'm saying? You have to have some type of drug to regulate that. And not being able to really truly be yourself, because when you're on any type of drugs or alcohol, you're being manipulated by this drug. You're just a slave to that addiction. But when you can actually live life on your terms and feel the way you want to feel and not be altered by a drug, it just makes life a little bit more, purposeful. Now you have a whole new life. When I see you now, just a little bit different feeling. I really feel like you are grooming to be, the next head honcho for the job that you're doing. So it is gonna take a little bit, just continue to get better and, make steps toward the right direction. And just understand that your progress is your progress. Nobody can dictate to you how far they feel like you should be on the road that you chose to be. This is your journey, your road. It's a self-paced mission, so you're not having to move to the speed of nobody else's drum. I like to say I like to move at the speed of me, and I stay in my lane. I don't go and try to taptoe in somebody else's lane. It costs you more money and more experience when you are in somebody else's lane versus when you operate in your lane. And whatever lane that is for you, you'll be able to have the confidence that, this is what I'm doing. I feel good about my life. Not in band anymore, but you're on the opposite side of the field, which is the football field. So just living life on both terms to see this is how life was when I was on this side, and this is where I am now. So this is an awesome testimony, nephew. I never knew that you was going through any type of depression, but I do know that mental health is very important, and there's some mental health issues in your blood. So you always have to recognize your blood. From when you was a kid to now, there are things that was planted in your blood that you really don't know, and you just have to really rectify and recognize those things. Because in order for you to really be a true man about your business, in order for you to be any type of businessman, you need to first identify your weaknesses. If you were Superman, you would have to find out what your kryptonite is, so that you know when someone is trying to, stab you in the back or try to slip you something. Also, you'll know how far you're willing to go for the price of whatever you're trying to accomplish. But just know that, having that, that mind that I know what my weaknesses is. And when you let people in your circle, they try to use your weaknesses to hurt you. So you have to be careful who you share your heart with. But having somebody like a accountability partner or a best friend or somebody who gonna tell you the truth, whether you like it or not, somebody who gonna hold you accountable, whether you like it or not, those are kind of friends that you really need to help grow you. Having a yes man in your corner, he's not gonna help you grow. He's gonna enable you to do what you wanna do and give you an excuse to do it. But having somebody who's accountable, saying that, look, bro, I know you want to do this, but this ain't the right thing for you. Or you need to put that down because it ain't even look right in your hand, or whatever it is. But just having some people that really care about you enough to know that, like your band friends, if you keep doing this to yourself, we can't be cool with you. Because we love you, we don't want to watch you destroy yourself because you got so much potential. Now, if you were to fast forward 9 months, 8 months later, how would those friends look at you now?
They hit me up all the time. They be like, proud of you. Like, I got a new girlfriend and stuff like that, and I be posting and they be seeing me on Snapchat and stuff, and they be like, dang, bro, you really look happy now. We miss you. Like, can you come back and be like that here? Because they never really saw this version of me. They have always seen the messed up version, but they hit me up all the time, saying they're proud of me and doing good. Can't wait to see me again. Stuff like that.
Well, when you're an entrepreneur, you're doing things that your peers are not doing. Your dad has got you on this fast track pace to adulthood, And so when you get to the point where, you know, you are running your own company, you're running your own trucks, you'll be able to take those kind of vacations, those kind of trips, and you better go do that kind of stuff with your homies that you wouldn't be able to do if you worked a regular 9 to 5. See, having an entrepreneur spirit, it really gives you the ability to live life on your terms instead of having to ask somebody for time off from work and all that kind of stuff. So you definitely gonna, if you stay on the right path, you'll definitely be able to enjoy some of the fruits of your labor when you're able to, you know, just enjoy life and go on trips and things like that. And so that's really something that you know can really look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to their graduation last year. I got so far I got 10 people from there say they're coming to mine. I don't think they'll really show up, but because it's kind of far. But they say they was coming. They already been planned, so I'll see them soon.
Wow. Well, I think that's awesome that you got that story. So, do you have music out right now?
Right now, not really. I used to upload on SoundCloud, but I listened to them recently.
So, are you currently doing anything on social media right now that we could be looking out for?
Soon. I got a bunch of lyrics, but I haven't recorded yet. Right now, my hands kind of tied up with the business and stuff. But whenever that slow back down, I'll definitely be going to the studio. Probably, I really want to release like an album, probably like, or a mixtape, probably like on my birthday, February 3rd.
So this is all the stuff you already got planned. You're just gonna go put it together, put it out.
Yeah. All I need now is a beat.
But you got somebody in particular trying to work with the producer and all that?
I got this one homeboy, he a producer. I've been cool with him for a few years, and he still mess with me. He's already blown up. Like, he done moved to Cali and everything. I don't know if you ever heard of the rapper Trippie Redd. Well, he like famous, and he one of Trippie Redd's favorite producers. And he still texts me all the time. He be sending me beats, cause when I was in like sophomore year, we used to go to the library for lunch, and we like he'll put on his beats, and I used to freestyle on him and stuff and tell him he was actually kind of good. And then I guess Trippie Redd heard one of me, he made it with the same age and everything.
Trippie
I
Redd.
definitely want to work with him. And
Is he local or where?
with Trippie Redd, like he global, he like big.
Like where you live at? Like where is he located?
I don't know where Trippie Redd located at, but the homeboy I'm talking about, he located in LA right now.
Did he come to Gulfport
No, he go to Texas.
to record? So you have to go to Texas to meet him to record?
I mean, not really. He really can send me the beat. Like, I got like 100 of his beats on my phone. He sends them to me all the time. I can just go to any studio and put my phone up to it and pull it up.
So you know this guy?
Oh yeah, like my homeboy.
And he's famous?
Yep.
He never shot you out or something?
Nah, cause he just a producer. Like, he just make the beat.
Oh, he can make the beat. Wow. Well, I have a couple of guys that I work with personally in North Carolina. One of them is one of my mentees. I've been mentoring him for like 4 years. He got his own studio. He worked with a lot of young guys, up and coming guys and things like that. Then I have another guy who I've been working with about 3 years, and he actually done work with Lil Bootsy and other artists. He's a local producer here in town in North Carolina, and he works with young guys as well. So last season, if you was tuning in, you would see that I had about 4 or 5 different rappers on the show. The guys came from Atlanta. They flew in to come and get on the show and talk about their projects. And since I was their first interview, since they've been on my show, they've actually conducted about 6 or 7 additional interviews, and they done put out videos and everything. So they've been doing some things on their own. And I just like to be able to talk to those kind of guys. And then you got Steven was on the show, and while he was in town, I let him work with one of my producer guys and got him a track done think he got it done in one day. And then we have one of my other little mentees was want to be a rapper, you know, working with him. So I like to work with, you know, guys that's in that kind of field because I just think it's amazing how musicians and artists can get together and take zero and come up with a song from scratch. And, you know, even if you're watching my, you know, the intro song to my show, that guy was one of the guys that, you know, I was talking with him, and he's an actual photographer. He's a school teacher, and he has other music out. And I was telling him, I'm saying, look, I need somebody to do a theme song for the show, and I'm always about the lyrics. I want to hear the lyrics, that they got some meaning behind the lyrics. And so when you get a chance to go back and listen to that song and listen to some of the lyrics, when he was writing that song, he didn't really know what he was doing as far as like the impact that he was gonna make. That has become one of my favorite songs because of what it stands for. One of the lyrics is returning cubs into lions inside the den. Join the brotherhood if you're really just trying to win. That right there is what my goal is, to try to turn cubs into lions, so that when you know, complete my program, you have a certain confidence about yourself that you're able to stand up like a lion. And you've been rocking the Lions Pride gear for the last couple of years and stuff like that. And that's just, you know, one of those things that you was born into this Lions Pride, you know what I mean? A lot of people are trying to get into the pride, but you was already born inside the pride. Your daddy was born inside the pride. So just having that extension of these young guys just going out and really getting it done. That guy wrote that song, man, and he just really he just charged my spirit. You know, I just felt like I can conquer the world, you know, because I got these guys who believe in me. And every time I make a move and I think about the generation coming up, how they're gonna affect them. And I just love dealing with young guys, and especially young musical guys. So one day, whenever you get a chance to come up and visit me in North Carolina, I can get you in the studio with my producers and things like that, and work on getting a demo album or something put together so that you can have something to produce whenever you're trying to look for somebody to sign you as a label. Now, me personally, I would like to be able to start my own label as a starter label to let these young guys learn how to learn about the music business on my label, so they can kind of learn and not have to make the mistake on their own dime, like they can learn on my dime. So next year, well, a couple weeks from now, I'll be working on trying to find out how to get that stuff started, because I'm not a music guy, but I like to put people around me that have that ability, and ain't nothing wrong with me being involved with this kind of stuff, because I want people to be able to shine on their own. So that's kind of why I do it.
Talking about lyrics, I got one song right here that I was telling you about. Maybe you can read it.
What is it about?
The one that I was telling you about.
Just give me like maybe one verse.
One verse? All right, hold on. Give me 10 seconds.
You would have that memorized, huh? You
No,
would have that memorized.
if I recorded, I would. All right, here go one. It go, lost in a dark place, trapped in the crawl space. In my mind, I get lost, then I wake up in a coffin. They tell me they care, they're just in love with the music, so they'll never know about the pain I go through. It's like a chain of reactions, all these demon attacks, from all the drugs that I'm taking to the women distracting me from being myself. It's like I'm losing my traction. Kiss death on the lips, I have a fatal attraction. This is my heart, which has my problems inspire me. Tear me apart, won't let the demons take over me. They took it too far. Now I need some surgery, I'm falling apart. It's like I'm lost in emotions. Use this song as a rope to wrap around the commotion. Tie the knot in my throat. I look at that as a notion. I don't want it no more, but it's too late to reverse it as I fall on the floor.
And that's pretty much talking about you doing the battle between the drugs and the world pulling on you.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good. So what kind of beat you gonna have with you?
That one right there, I want it to be kind of like a slow beat, like with a violin with no drums.
Sounds. I can picture that.
Yes. No drums at all. No drums.
So other than the album and other than the music, what else you got, coming out for 2022? Like, what's your next year look like?
Man, I'm finna graduate.
In May, right?
Yep.
And then after that, what?
Hopefully, I can have a bigger role in this business, so I can have bigger paychecks. I'm probably gonna be moving out soon, around there.
Where you going?
I really want to move, I keep saying Houston, but I really mean the Houston area, like the outskirts of Houston. I want to go there and meet new people and share my music around there. That's a lot of people make it off of Houston.
I thought Dallas was a spot that they all made it off of.
I'm not going to Dallas. I hate Dallas. Dallas is not what people really think it is. Dallas is not it. Not Dallas. Not Dallas.
Well, to each his own. When you be a man soon, you better figure all those things out and make those decisions yourself. Anything else you want to say to the people out here?
That's really it. Appreciate y'all for watching.
Well, this your boy Daniel Lyons and Evans, and this is our show for the day. Please join us every week, Saturdays at 4 o'clock. I'm live on Inside the Den on Facebook. I'm on Inside the Den on YouTube, my channel, Inside the Den. I'm actually on Inside the Den and on Twitch and Instagram on Inside the Den. So you all, please like and subscribe to my platform, my channels, and leave your comments at the comment section. We want to hear more from you all, what you want to hear about, some different topics, and we'll take suggestions and things like that from the poll and from all your comments. So we definitely look forward to hearing from you all. Look, you all, it's a couple days before Christmas, and we know we're not going to be in the studio live for Christmas, so we decided to go ahead and do the show now. But we all looking forward to see you all next year in 2022. But this has been your boy Daniel Lyons and Evans Inside the Den, and we'll see you on the other side of time. Peace.
Hey,
Stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah.
I'm a lion and ain't nothing but anything. We on fire and my brothers, they on fire too. And we'll fight for each other, that's what lions do.
Progression of the team is the purpose of our devotion. You can see that we've been working and really having some motion. None of it was given, you know that we had to hustle. And that's just how it is when you coming about the struggle. They say it takes a village when you raising a child. And they all turn into your family after a while. We gotta feed into each other, show love to one another. Not a race, but I know we can all finish the mile. When we step up in the den, you letting go of your past. You the only person that can really hold yourself back. The pride and strength of a lion is truly a match. Everybody has it when you a part of the pack. Now this ain't the type of place that'll judge you for who you are. We just get you on your way to becoming a superstar. I told you once before and I can tell you again. Come and join the brotherhood if you really just trying to win. What's up?
Brothers need to stick together. As a team, we can make it wherever. Just tell me how you feel. Just tell me if it's real. Brothers need to stick together. As a team, we can make it wherever. Just tell me how you feel.
Tell me how you feel.
Just tell me if it's real.
Tell me how you feel. Inside of the den, one minute.
introduce myself?